welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to KBS 1. I am Hat, and I can see that I have not activated my voice activation here on Discord, so that should be fixed now. Right. Like I said, welcome to KBS 1. I am Hat, your host, also the leader of KDM, and I am going to stream some PowerWash Simulator today. As described, we are cleaning a Legio, or rather a Knight thingamajiggy, Knight Paladin. This says here that my next task is the ritual blessing for an Imperial Knight Paladin of House Hawkshroud, withdrawn from meritorious duty combating redacted, proof pending, among the foe-tide chem swamps of the planet redacted classified. They have traversed the galaxy to spearhead the frontal assault on withheld strategic Estimar B785. Description: redacting excessive verbosity, so they just go on for a while, I suppose. This honorable Knight Paladin is an elite unit of prodigious power. Their importance for the battle ahead cannot be overstated. It is an imperative that their machine spirit is purified and galvanized. Janitoris 656 will be closely monitoring your work. It is time to prove that you are worthy of your title. Praise the Omnissiah. Alright, and we're going to get a few things like Aquasantica Arquibus and some cleaning stuff. We'll see how well that goes. Let's see how this looks and how bad it is. Yep. Just like I predicted. This thing, I don't know what this, if it's stepped in a fruit salad or, wait, why is it purple? No, it's not purple. Or is it? I was going to say, is this some Emperor's Children fuckery that's going on here? Very useful that I am already a bit of a 40k nerd, so I know a lot about this stuff. Well, maybe not in particular, about Titans, but, you know, I do know a lot about 40k. And hey, Quinlist. Quinlist has joined us in chat and says, it's stepped in some kind of Slaanesh soup. You know, I'm slightly tempted to say that this is indeed some kind of Slaaneshi outing. They had some kind of, you know, table set up in the backyard, that good old Slaanesh backyard, and this thing came in and just, like, took a head first dive into this and be like, yay, Slaanesh pool, or, you know, Imperial pool. It's like, that's our soup bowl, man. What the hell? And wow, Pablo, for the first time from the BPL, has joined and said, it's the Dane with the brain. I seem to have misplaced my brain is somewhere. I'll find it eventually. You let me know if you see it. So without much more ado, let's get started on cleaning. My god, it is really filthy, isn't it? Let's start with its feetsies. See if that helps. Wow, it completely changed color. It's not purple at all. What kind of, Janitoris is telling me you've again been blessed by machine gun. Still, at least now you have the title worthy of the dude. All right, I was promoted to tech priest or Injusir or some such thing. Now he's asking me if I'm familiar with the rites for blessing one of these things and whatnot. I don't think I am. Are you sanctifying, son? Oh yeah, absolutely. I am sanctiferously sanctifying. I am sanctifying this here toe. This is the most sanctified toe ever. This is gonna. I hate this notion because now I'm thinking like Titanic feet pics, and that's just not good. We're not. This is a family 40k stream. How dare you? How dare you make me think such things? Oh no, Pablo is like saying only Titans. This is not. This is just going all the wrong ways. Horror, bro. Yeah, this is pretty horror, bro. Titanic toe cleaned. I can't believe. Oh my god, they really called it Titanic toes. This is very upsetting. Might as well get these toes, these toes cleaned up immediately. I'm guessing this thing classifies also as a Titan, even though it's a Knight Paladin, which is like the smaller version of a Titan, a proper Titan, as I would call it. Because let me tell you, like this is, I'm guessing, like BattleTech Mech Warrior kind of territory-ish thing in terms of size. If it was a proper Titan, it would be the size of an office building or a church. It's like that old joke that is about 40k and a Titan. It's like, you know, everybody's gangsta until the church starts walking. It is an excessively warm day here in Denmark, by the way. In case I haven't made this obviously clear to anybody who might be watching, I am from Denmark, but yeah, it is possible here in Daneland, in the cold north, to have very warm days, and do not. Oh, Inquisitor Mopsus. Oh no. I promise you, Inquisitor, Your Lordship, Highness, that I am very, very properly and imperially cleaning these Titan toes. Yep. Shh, Pablo, don't say this orc shit out loud. Filthy, yeah, no, there are some filthy heretics. I'm definitely very imperial and not at all orc or heretic. I'm very loyal. Please don't shoot me. I do not want to be liquidated into nutrient paste. There we go. But yeah, like I said, it's very warm here, and I've actually I've been working from home, which is like very sweaty and annoying. So I tried to be outside. I do software development, and it was, I mean, both satisfying and very, very annoying, because, you know, it's nice that you can sit in the sun and do software development, but at the same time, it's like my brain is cooking really, really hard. So doing any kind of proper thinking is just difficult. Oh god, CJ, also from the BPL, but also Incanium, is here and saying Titanic feet pics. Is this a ship girls thing hat? Oh no. Just guys, just this had to be, was supposed to be a wholesome stream about 40k, and it's only Titans and Titan feet pics, and oh no. You know, we tried to make it really nice, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. And yes, CJ, I'm well aware that your eternal mission in life is to remind me that you are well versed in the realm of cursed things. So to compensate for this and to make things better, I'm now going to paint away this dirt so we can see the glorious Imperial Eagle, at least half of one. And there's, I'm guessing, some other version of it. So yeah, I thought actually, as a result of having done software development while my brain was cooked and being heated all day, I'd chill out by going inside in the shade and have some air running through my house, sort of past me, so I chill out here doing it. Now you guys are just, as Quinless puts it, making everything hot, steamy, and well, I don't know about glorious. That's a debatable point, I think. It's just, oh man. Nah, it's good you guys are here. We have fun. We have fun in these parts. We are cleaning a it says Imperial Knight Paladin, and I am actually not, despite having immense amount of knowledge when it comes to 40k, Legio Titanica and generally Titans, I am not that well versed on. So I cannot actually deny or confirm that this is a Warhound. But I will give you that it very much looks like one. I think I've played games where this exact thing has been on display before, and it was called something along those lines. I like that this sort of thing in between its legs is solid metal. It's not like this really neat flag or something, or might be, but it's certainly reacting as though it's made of solid metal, which I kind of like. CJ says, "No, I know you're feeling, Hat. Messed up something I was building because it's too warm where I am and can't get better ventilation." Yeah, no, the heat really does. You know, you start thinking, "Wow, now I know how an egg feels. This is terrible." Oh, Pablo's son is also watching. I'm trying to. Well, I'm not sure. Your son is quite young, so I'm not sure how to. I can make some weird baby noises if that helps. Or actually, I'm not sure how old he is, but I don't know. It's very, if anything, more kids should get into 40k, even as toddlers. If anything, that just makes everything better. 40k for toddlers. That's surely a great idea. What am I saying? Like, they would probably just chew on the models and everything. But then again, that would be the most experience lost you've ever had if you had 40k models, because they cost a fortune. Oh, he's 10. Well, in that case, fair enough. I can make impressive talk to a 10-year-old. Look at this giant robot. Isn't it cool? And we're cleaning it. I don't know about the cleaning part. It's cool, but it's a goddamn cool robot. You're stepping on Texas Toys for Tots through better math. Yeah. No, this is definitely Tex Toys for Tots. This is definitely a business we need to start. That is a cursed idea if I've ever heard one, by the way. CJ says, issue is Games Workshop can't issue mortgages yet for your first army. No, but I will bet you they can work something out. They will happily work out some really messed up scheme. It's like, oh, so you want your very first starter kit for painting 40k, do you? Well, we take mortgages on your house and also a lease on your firstborn. That's that'll make it easy for you. No, it's a standard plan. We offer it to many. This is we have a great product. It is surely worth all that. Your son also plays PowerWash Simulator. Well, this is, if you're gonna have a PowerWash Simulator game, you might as well be cleaning giant death robots with giant cannons, and not to mention an arm that is essentially just a glorified chain axe or chain sword. Just giant thing. Like, this thing could probably dig up your house in 10 seconds flat. And so to clean such a thing surely is awesome. this is one thing I will say about 40K when compared to BattleTech and giant robots. One thing I'm slightly missing from BattleTech that I wish they'd do more is that, well, it sort of speaks for itself. Look at this guy. He is bedecked in sigils and iconography and colors and all kinds of cool stuff. Like it's made, but whereas in BattleTech, things are just kind of like, yeah, we have a giant robot. Have you made it cool with all kinds of like art on it and all kinds of stuff? No, we just usually painted the same color all the way across and maybe one or two color variations here and there. I'm not saying that's bad, but it'd be so much cooler if they sort of made a, like, you know, a really war paint kind of thing. That would be great. The Knights proved their fealty through survival of the redacted protocol classified F-266. Young nobles from each of the Knight houses collect at the Chamber of Echoes within the sanctuary of a knightly stronghold. That seems very clanner of you, says Quinlist. Well, I hate to tell you this. Like, what I've always said, whenever I talked about BattleTech, that my favorite inner sphere model or mech is the Warhammer. Partly because it's called Warhammer because I like Warhammer 40K, but also because it just looks damn cool. But in that is also implied that I actually also have favorite clan mechs. I do like the clan, so sorry if you had to find out this way, but I actually think clanners are kind of cool in different respects. Oh, hey! Inquisitor has redeemed Hydrate. This is actually the first, wow, I opened my soda there. My first redeem thing, that since we've got new crowns and things. And actually the animation works, so thank you for that. I'm gonna have a drink. That was very good. Quinless, I'm generous today. I have AC, and thus you're forgiven. Thank you. I'm very appreciative of that. And thank you for the drink. I actually needed that. Because boy howdy, it is warm here in Denmark. You wouldn't think so, but here we are. This place is very much capable of cooking you. I will say this. One of my good friends, Diggs, who is from the warm area, I think it's Arizona or thereabouts, that place, I've been there once in my life, and holy, that place is warm. That is insane. It's one of those things where you start thinking, like, people live here voluntarily. I don't understand. Inquisitor Mopsus. You know, come to think of it, your name is good for this game, Mopsus. You know, like a cleaning mop. Anyway, he says, I have 5 Baneblades and 2 Titans at home now. I don't know where to put them and how to paint them. Yeah, no, I know how that feels. I actually have, I have 2 models of Horus from the Horus Heresy. Like, they, at one point, Games Workshop were, well, I think they're still selling the Horus model. And I have 2 of them because the first one I bought, or rather someone sent me as a gift, was slightly broken. And I messaged Games Workshop about this because they signed them to sort of say, you know, this was quality controlled by so-and-so, which in some ways makes me feel slightly bad because it makes it seem like you're sort of holding that guy responsible, or so, like, you know, if there's anything wrong with this thing you bought from us, we're going to execute the guy who said it was okay. We hope you understand that when you complain about it. It sort of felt like that. But I complained about it, or rather I said, you know, this is not cool because, like, some of the fingers fell off. It wasn't good. And so they sent me a new one, a complete new one. So I have 2 Horus Lupercal 40K models, and I haven't put them together nor painted them, and I'm slightly worried to do so because it's one of those, they're expensive, like, they're really expensive, and I don't want to fuck it up. So sometimes I play with the idea of finding one of those cool guys who, like, do really good painting and get one of them, so because it's going to be a display thing. So I'm not too worried about like like get one of them painted, and maybe then later paint the other one myself. I don't know. Pablo says, "How very Danish of you to ruin Englishman's day." You know, I hadn't thought about it like that, but now that you come to mention it, oh man, pay me to go away. The old mantra of the Viking who came to visit England. See now, this thing. No, the tab art isn't completely clean yet. Why isn't it completely clean yet? Pablo has followed. Thanks for the follow, Pablo. I appreciate that. Ah, the chains needed to be cleaned. That's why. Mopsis says, now I just have a gray pile of shame that's worth 1,000 CHF. Is that like Swiss? I don't actually know which currency that is, but Swiss. Ah, I was right. Yes. I know things about currencies. I am very smart. Kinda. Or maybe not. My brain is cooked. I can't think. Don't hurt me. Just cleaning everything from the underside, because at some point we're gonna have to get this scaffold here, and oh, Pablo has redeemed stretch. I'm gonna stretch now. But yeah, cleaning things from the underside, so that eventually I'm gonna have to get the scaffolding, or well, there is a scaffolding all the way around this, so it's probably good. I mean, oh, there is this. I was wondering where that was. Is this thing larger than before? Seems that way. Would be, oh, wow. Mopsa says would be about 7,700 Danish crowns. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Yeah, no, I can tell, or I can see what you mean about pile of shame. That's excessive, but that's cool though. You'll get it done eventually, I'm sure of it. But I'm no better myself. I will just say that much. I even have I got a 3D model printed, a high quality 3D model of the Warhammer mech, and it's sitting behind me, and it's unpainted, because I was gonna be all like, yeah, I'm gonna show those BattleTech people how to paint a Warhammer so it looks glorious and, you know, sort of ready for battle, and I haven't even started it, so it's like, I know how it feels, bud. I know how it feels. Look at this thing. This giant chainsword. This is the sort of thing, like, I don't know, it just seems like, this seems like more for digging than it does for attacking anything. Like, oh, do you need your hanger given a skylight really quickly and without too much worry about serrated edges or anything? And like, this is the way you do it. This is a great thing for doing that. Do you have a 1,000-ton can of beans you need opened? This is your guy. He will do this. If Tom needs a can of beans, this thing will open it. Tom Bombadil of the Black Pants Legion. Here's Tyros again. What is this guy? What does he want? At the commencement of the sacred ritual, each young noble enters the room and occupies the restricted technology H002 of their night houses. Throughout the night that follows, the noble mind will fuse with the neural network of the restricted technology. Yeah, what they're talking about is that they basically have to. There's these robots. If those of you who might not know, they have a mind of their own, even though simplistic and animalistic in terms. So what happens is they have to sort of overpower and commandeer the machine spirit or the mind of this giant robot. And if they fail, they'll be consumed and die horribly. And if they succeed, they'll obviously take control. But yeah. Quinless says, I think it's for cutting Eldar Wraith Lords. At least that's the Dawn of War 3 intro cinematic. Oh, God. I think I just got sick in my mouth a little bit, Dawn of War 3. I don't know if this is where I'm trying to hold my rant here, because Dawn of War, man, talk about a game that started out gloriously. Dawn of War 1, I played that so much with the many DLCs. It was a fun game to play just over and over again with friends. And then they decided, you know, this whole Dawn of War thing is pretty good. So what should we do to make it better? Should we continue with this our own idea that we have for Dawn of War? Should we develop on this very cool concept we have now clearly demonstrated? Or you know what we could do? We could take a pre-existing game and just copy the whole game mechanic 1-to-1 and just basically make it that game but skinned to 40k. So yeah, that's oh, I fell. I crawl up a ladder, fall down, crawl up a ladder, fall down. Well done. Just holy. And then they were like, you know, this is going pretty well. I mean, obviously there was a lot of people. I can't. I think it's called the Band of. No, it's not Band of Brothers. No, it's that. What is that game called? RTS that they copied off of. Damn, I forgot the name of it now. But there's this game then. Company of Heroes. That's right. Thank you, CJ. And also, thank you, Pablo. Your son is pretty cool too. I'm glad he's here to enjoy this power washing adventure, the Legio Janitoris, as I've decided to name it. Now, they did that with Company of Heroes and Dawn of War, and I was eternally confused. Why on earth they did that? Like, they had a good thing going, and then they're like, you know, let's just skin a different game and call it a new one. And it's just like, why? And then they get to Dawn of War, and you think to yourself, okay, they probably learned their lesson now. They probably understand, because it didn't do as well as the first one, if I'm not mistaken. It had not very good multiplayer. They tried different things, and it was kind of bleh. And then they did Dawn of War 3, and this, I don't know how on earth you are able to just basically like, yes, we make it look like 40k, and then we do everything wrong in terms about the game itself. Like, it was so ridiculous. Like, I really, really was looking forward to that, to Dawn of War 3. And some of just the story itself was laughable, and the units and the scale of things was ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying that, oh, thanks, CJ, for the follow. I'm not saying that they shouldn't try to innovate, but it was just like, you know, how can we do this even worse now? How can we, you know, advance this franchise and do even worse? Oh, I know. Let's completely ruin all semblance of 40k and just, like, make it all the way cartoon. Even the color scheme and the way they do things, just like, you think to yourself, like, this really is what they would do to 40k if they wanted to, make it feel like if it was like Play-Doh 40k. Wow, CJ. Wow, you've been watching without logging in on this, and wow, I'm just so disappointed. Yeah, Dawn of War is a completely ruined franchise. I don't understand how they did that. They had something very good. But this is, by the way, not an uncommon phenomenon. They did the same thing with PlanetSide. PlanetSide 1 was a great game where they basically was one of the first if I don't think it's the first, but it was definitely one of the first massive multiplayer first-person shooters. It was a really good thing, and they had a great concept. It didn't do the best in the world, but it set a standard on the stage, and it made a good impression on a lot of people, and it made history. And then when it came to creating PlanetSide 2, I think to myself, I was there with the beta for PlanetSide 2. In fact, my community, Canium, like one of our major adventures was in Dawn of War 2. PlanetSide 2. And I understand why they did it. Like, here are several things they did. First of all, if you look at the interface for PlanetSide 2, terms of like when you shoot somebody, the points that pop up on the screen, the way that the crosshair works, the way that the gun handling works, the way the animations happen, and so on. Complete replica of Battlefield. Specifically, I think some of the newer Battlefields that just happened before that time. And so you could just tell, like, this is Battlefield, just with a PlanetSide 2 skin. And then when it came to things like certs, that you had certifications and whatnot, this used to be a very, you had to choose very carefully in PlanetSide 1 about which certifications you chose. So you had to make a hard choice about whether you wanted to be an expert cloaker guy who could sneak and have all the right armor and weapons and all the advantages. But that also meant when you made that choice, you did not have enough points to then also be like a heavy weapons expert who went in giant max suits, and you couldn't have all the cool large vehicles and stuff like that. You could be a cloaker. So that was the point of this, and you could change certifications, but you could only do so, I think it was either every 24 hours or it was every 48 hours or something like that. So you were kind of locked into your character for the most of the time about the choices you made. Whereas in PlanetSide 2, they just made it so, you can have certs. We are going to pour certs all over you. Like, you're being showered in certifications all the time, and you can just do everything. And it was completely ridiculous how they did it. Again, I know that they're trying to... One of the things in game design you have to contend with is transferability, or rather, how... if part of your customer base is already sort of playing Battlefield or Call of Duty and stuff like that, one of the things that you can do in order to get them to play your game is copy some of the stuff that they do almost one-to-one, because that way people don't have to learn a new interface. They don't have to learn a new bunch of things. So the transference from one game to the other is easier. So it's easier to get people on board if they recognize something or they already know how some of this works. And no, I do. Actually, I do think I remember the grenade bug, CJ, from PlanetSide 2 was... Is this the thing where... Is this the thing where you could throw grenades in friendly territory? Or what was it again? I think... I remember several bugs. I remember some... I still have screenshots of people hacking turrets and stuff like that and moving them around. But feel free to remind me what it was exactly. But I do recall something about grenades in PlanetSide 2. It was kind of weird. I remember also there were several animations. Like it was, Pablo's son here. Hi, Pablo's son. My dad just told me that you're a designer. Is that true? It is true that I have part of my career have been in game design and also in game development. I was part of the development team, or rather the group that made EVE Online from the game company called Crowd Control Productions on Iceland. It's one of the first endeavors I did in my professional life. Is I wanted to be in the game industry, and so I went to Iceland to be part of that. And so I do have a sort of a background in game design and development and quality assurance. So and I worked for several game companies in Germany. I was part of making a game that's called Forge of Empires, which is a browser game. You might have heard about that before. I don't know if they still do the credits the same, but I'm listed in there as the quality assurance lead, and I think also game designer, because I took part of the game design efforts. I've also worked for a company in South Germany near Stuttgart called Havoc, who made a product called Havoc Physics, and I was on a project that was called Project Anarchy, which was about making sort of there's something called Unity or something called Unreal Game Engine, stuff like that. I was part of making that. And I have a few other things to my belt. I've also made stuff that's on Steam, by the way. I made a game mod for a game called Xenonauts that's called BPL Armory, which is basically just a fun, a hilarious mod that's about adding ridiculous, funny weapons to the game. So, yeah. Let's see, what was this thing that CJ said about the grenade? It exploded on the player that threw it. The model of the grenade would leave, but the explosions was on the thrower. Oh no. So they exploded. So room clearing involved a player suicide bombing a room. You could tell a player to the beta because they would kill so many friendlies. Oh no. I don't remember this one, I have to admit. But that's hilarious. Oh, there's still some dirty areas. Little question comes from, I'm guessing still Pablo's son. Is game designing hard or is it easy? It's... There are aspects to game design that's easy. If you have the sort of mindset that is about understanding... You see, game design isn't just about thinking that, it would be cool to, like, make a game where you pilot a robot, for instance. So this is... I wouldn't say that's a mistake that people make, but it's more sort of like you have to be able to think about, in game design terms, what is the game about? Like, if I say, for instance, this game here, like PowerWash Simulator, what is the actual game? Because one thing is saying, oh, wouldn't it be cool to just have a PowerWash Simulator? Now you have to start thinking about, like, how do you reward the player? How do they feel? How do you make them feel a sense of progress? And in this case, they've done things like when you clean a bit of the robot, they start like giving you points, like, oh, you've cleaned this section of the robot. Ding! That's part of the thing. And what is the end goal? And like you have to be able to think about reward mechanics and what motivates people to actually play your game. Which actually I would say is one of the harder aspects of game design, is being able to think about how you motivate people to actually play your game. Because a cool idea about piloting a robot is all very well, but why are they doing it? That's the question. So to your question, is it hard or is it easy? There are aspects of it that's easy, but the hard part is being able to, like, there's a lot of psychology involved. But if it's not, like, and also try to think simple. That's also an important part. So there, you can do simple games fairly easily without too much design trouble, but if you really want to make some serious impact, you have to be able to think about motivation. But there's some ways to mitigate that, or rather, there are ways of, in game design terms, getting around this a bit easier, which is you have to learn how to think about what would be fun for you when you play a game, say like this, for instance. Like if you were to look and hear the word PowerWash Simulator, how would you enjoy it? Like what would you make it you play it? And if you can do that, then it becomes easier. So I would say it really depends on how you approach game design and whether you have a flair for it. I hope that's not too much of a vague answer, but it's a bit of both, depending on which part. but it becomes a lot easier if you enjoy it. I will say that. And getting started is easy. Like, you don't have to know a lot. It's not like you have to study a bunch of books. You just have to be able to think about what do you enjoy to do in a game. Why is this not clean yet? Inquisitor Momsen says, Forge of Empires and EVE Online. You, my friend, have stolen a lot of my time in school where I should have been listening to my teacher. Well, like, that is part of the point. Maybe not specifically to make you not study. That's obviously not the point. But, yeah. That means the game is working. I can't say I completely feel bad about that. Stay in school, kids. Just, Pablo's son says, I play PowerWash Simulator with my friends mostly. I always spray them in the face. Still Pablo's son here about it. Yeah, no, I figured. See, there's a cool idea that might be worth having. Maybe even an achievement for it. It's actually, now that I think about it, a bit strange to me that there isn't some kind of Easter egg effect for spraying your friend in the face, and an achievement that says, like, you know, filthy colleague or something like that. I don't know what you would call it if you were to spray your colleague in the face with a, or just make them fly across the room. That would be funny. I suppose it loses its charm very quickly if you just all the way through, you're just disrupting each other by spraying each other in the face. I just had a drink there. Let's see. Oh no, CJ. CJ just said, I've just discovered some of your crown rewards. I have a mission to have save up enough to make you do 50 push-ups. I will just say this, CJ. It's not that maybe you can't one day achieve it, but the actual values for these things and whatnot is still something I'm sort of reviewing and testing, so that might change just now that you've told me that, but I will do diligence in terms of doing what people tell me to do with the Crown Rewards. But the values is still something I'm messing with, because obviously I don't want people to just be able to sit here for like 30 minutes total or whatever, and then just be able to get me to do half a marathon or something. Pablo's son says, I always do all the work while they sit back and talk about stupid stuff. Well, in that case, you know, this is where you do indeed need the ability to power wash them in the face so they fly across the room. You know, if you're the foreman, just be like spraying, like, get back to work. That should be a role, like in multiplayer. So you can have different roles, and one guy is like the foreman. He sort of like has to get people to continue working. That would be hilarious. Inquisitive Mopsis says, put a plank redeem in there too, like a 1-minute plank. I will just say that in my community, Canium, we have recently started up a whole new project where we have a very talented young doctor, or rather, I think she went through her examination, or she's about to. She's very, very talented. She has started up a fitness effort in Canium, and one of the first thing we did was a 2-week challenge where we would get everybody to do a plank, and the first plank we did, you would have to sort of send in your time how much plank you could do. Mine was like, I think 45, 50 seconds or something like that. And then you would, throughout the 2 weeks, you would report in. The goal was to achieve 7 total minutes for the whole week and per week. And you would send in your numbers along the way and how much you did. And in the end, the last plank I did as an improvement was 1 minute 50 something seconds. So I almost did 2 minutes worth of planking in one go. I was very proud of myself. So we actually have a fitness effort going on in KDM. I'm actually very pleased with that. It's a great community idea to get more, because you know what it's like. You sit at the computer all day and you sit there and just, for some reason you become fatter and more immobile, and that's not good. So you have to get like people to challenge you in gamifying terms, which is a thing I'm a huge fan of, to gamify things in your life that you don't want to do. A great thing that none of you have ever looked into gamifying your life, I'd highly recommend it. It makes all the tedious things that you don't want to do better. I'm not saying it's gonna make everything easy, but it makes it better. And I am so glad that I'm making you laugh, Pablo-san. I'm making a horrible impression and giving you bad ideas. That's great. Just the way things should be. Let's see. I've sort of not been finished cleaning this thing yet. This thing... What am I... Do I have to crawl underneath this thing? Wow, this thing is dirty. I had just realized that it's really bad from underneath. I'm patient, Hat. I can wait years. Well, I'm gonna pay for this one day, aren't I? I can feel it. Whoa. We had a Titanic toe we hadn't completely cleaned. How heretical. Haha! The foot has been cleaned. Mopsa says, I had to do planking with lifting each leg all the time for 8 minutes the last time in the military. That was... Oh my god. For 8 minutes. And here I am bragging about my almost 2 minutes. Jeez. We did have a guy in Canium who... I think he was some kind of... He was working in a workshop, had like a painter's gas mask on and stuff like that, and his dirty work clothes, and he just did a recording on his phone of himself planking for a little over 2 minutes, I think, or something like that. Or it was 3, and he was so stable. And the rest of us were deeply impressed by that, so... We do have some very, very strong people in Canium. See, you know. God damn it, Pop. Yeah, clean that dirty foot. No, stop making it weird. Aha. The primary piston. Okay, so I guess I have to clean the underside of this on both feet, because apparently that's something I missed. Lower leg. Nice. Oh no, this is so bad. CJ's gonna clip it. Yeah, I guess there's no way around that. That has to be saved for posterity. Oh no. I think you're right, Mopsis. Mopsis says, I think Pablo wants a Titanfoot Patreon. Yeah, that's... Oh no. Let's see, the foot is clean. What was that? The auxiliary piston. So this guy here. What are you... Why are you not clean? Ah, there it is. CJ can't figure out how to do a clip right now, which means I've been saved from the shame of having it forever be on record. Ha ha ha. You won't stop. You can't get me. For now, yeah. Where is the last bit I'm missing here? Oh wait, there's some right there. The heretical orcs channel safety settings. Yes. No, yeah, I have anti-heretic settings on this place. It might, yeah, exactly. It might be that it's for subscribers. No, I actually don't know. I don't think I've there's some settings, by the way, for this channel that I haven't completely worked out yet. We're still developing it here in Canium. There's still lots of things that we haven't worked out. There's some art we have to add, but you know, we're making progress. We're developing things as we go along. Oh, what's that? Which one was that that's not finished? It's still that lower leg auxiliary piston. How dare you, piston, to oh wait, there it is. I think. Ah, I got it. Upper leg. There's something here about the upper leg that I haven't finished. Reaper Chainsword. That's what it's called. Damn. Damn. There's something Battletech needs. Chainswords. I know they have melee, but they don't have chainsword melee. Is it time for us to get the scaffolding? Like, I'm slowly running out of things to clean from the underside of this thing. Oh, we can still get this stuff up here. Nice. Pablo's son here. What device do you play on? Oh, you mean what computer am I playing on right now? I'm playing on a desktop computer. If that's what you mean. If you mean more sort of in terms of like, what computer, like what's the, it's like size of my computer and what do I have on it, that kind of stuff. I can tell you that it is, I use Windows 10 still, by the way, and it has 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it is a, what kind of graphics card do I have? It is definitely a, I'm trying to remember which, it is a, NVIDIA graphics card that I'm trying to remember which graphics card it is. Blah, blah, blah. Darn, I actually don't remember my own graphics card. That's bad. Why don't I remember my own graphics card? Let me just quickly check that. That's embarrassing. I've just been thinking about loads of other things here. Let me just see. My graphics card is... Let's see. System information about my... it is a GeForce RTX 480 or 4080. So it is a pretty beefy graphics card. And I have an i9 13th generation processor, 13900K. So it's a pretty nice pretty nice computer. But to be fair, my previous machine went unupgraded for something like 7 or 8 years. So I decided, no, I'm gonna buy a computer that's gonna last me a while, because I had been suffering. I had really just been chugging along. Like, just trying to play games like Star Citizen, which is another game I sometimes play, was just, you know... It had solid states. It had solid state drives. I could, like, get some things done, but it was really a case of, my word, I have had 10 frames for the past 2 seconds. This is not good. Nah, it wasn't that bad, but it could get pretty bad sometimes. We're getting the scaffolding. There needs to be scaffolding now. I play on an Xbox. No, I do not play on an Xbox. CJ says, hat has standards. It's, well, I haven't had, I used to be a console game a long time ago, but this is how long ago it was. My last console, the last console I owned, was a PlayStation 1. As in, not the one called 1, but the first PlayStation. That was my last console. So, you figure when last I was a console gamer. I remember I had this demo disc on PlayStation 1, which it wasn't a game. All it was this animation of a T-Rex dinosaur that was walking along in empty space. And you could sort of make it turn its head back and forth, and you could make it open its mouth and close it again and stuff like that. And I thought that was just the shit. It was so great. CJ had N64. Oh, 3 to 4 games. Nice. Clear purple controller. Wow, that is unique. Oh, GoldenEye. CJ just mentioned he had GoldenEye. GoldenEye was such a great game. Oh, hydrate. Thanks, Pablo. Or Pablo's son. And you know what? I'm gonna give this one to Pablo's son. Thank you, Pablo's son. That's very kind of you. There you go. Nice. It was Pablo's son. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, Dad is driving. Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's a good thing that Pablo knows his duty as a parent. You to be entertained and for him to do the driving. On the other hand, it would be funny if it sort of was switched around. No, 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 I have to watch this stream, son. Here, you take the wheel. I have to watch this stream. Don't get me into accidents. Come on, get going. What do you mean you don't know how traffic rules work, or you can't reach the pedals? Here's a few sticks you can use to reach with, and also just get into it. Just assert dominance in the traffic. It'll work out. Don't you worry. Get going, son. I have a stream to watch. This is a lot of fun. Don't disappoint me. I know you're 10, but it's oh man. Anyway, Thank you. He says I'm funny. I'm glad that I'm entertaining people. No, see, that is the wrong advice to give a 10-year-old. Just borrow your dad's keys and learn while your dad's away. It'll be fine. In fact, he expects it. Oh no. This bad influence, like, essentially Pablo's gonna pull over. It's like, all right, that's enough of that bad stream for you. We can't have you being raised by these lunatics. This is what we mean about bad influence from the internet. No, for God's sake. That's God damn it, Mopses. It was just being nice. You're a heretic orc, can't be funny. I am not an orc, sir. Though I might be slightly heretical, I can't rule that out. I do, for example, slightly. If it were to, like, I like the Horus's Legion, the Luna Wolves, as I prefer to call them. I know they're called Sons of Horus and blah blah blah, and you know, with some extent they could be called the Black Legion nowadays, but still, as much as that's left of them anyway. So that's a bit of heresy, I suppose. Now, Pablo's son asks, if I had to be honest, I might be a game developer. Got any tips? Yes, I do. I do have a tip for being a game developer, which is, do not study specifically for becoming a game developer. Do not. I'm just gonna have a drink and I'll explain why. All right. So, being a game developer can be fun. And there's a lot of, you can meet a lot of great people. You can have a lot of great adventures. You're gonna you can have loads of fun. And it's not a bad experience in a lot of cases, but it can also be a very draining experience. Like, there's a reason why in the game industry there's a high turnover in a lot of cases, and a lot of games will fail. So it's really about most of the people you meet, some of the experiences you have, and whatnot. So why is it you shouldn't study to be a game developer? Well, because if you study to be a game developer, that is going to be all you know how to do. That is going to lock you into the field of game development somewhat permanent. You can't get out of it, but game development is not going to make you rich. It is not going to be sustainable in the long run unless you really have a passion for it and you're one of the lucky ones. So in pure terms of mitigation and making smart choices, study to become a software developer instead. You can still be a game developer while being a software developer, or you could study to become like a systems architect to do IT, which is also something you can do in the game industry, like systems architect or IT administrator or stuff like that, which is a more generalized education that can be applied to the game industry. You can do all kinds of things that's more generalized skills that can be applied to the game industry, but for goodness sake, like, game design is, I'm not saying you can't study game design, but I wouldn't make it a primary thing for your existence, for your future, because it hinges on you always being in that field and you being successful with it. And that, I'm not saying it can't happen, but there are long odds, and you will do yourself such a much bigger favor and have much better options, and you will thank yourself for it if you studied a more generalized field like programming or IT administration or systems architect and stuff like that, because it will apply to more than just gaming. That would be my tip to you. It's much better for you. Game industry can be fun, but there are no guarantees, and it is There's a reason why this industry, the game industry, where most games fail. Most of them do. There are so many games, like in my shelf right next to me, have a unique bottle of rum. I have signed high quality pens and marketing materials for a full 3D game that was called Cartuga, which was developed in the Unity game engine. It was supposed to be a browser game. And it had reached beta stage and everything, and we had players coming in, and we had servers, and we had websites, and we had everything. The game doesn't exist anymore, and there's a very good chance you've never heard of it. Because eventually it was decided, for lots of different reasons, that the game was not viable. And so it was shut down. And this is true for a lot of games. For most games, in fact. I'm not telling you to disparage your wishes and hopes for the game industry. You can have lots of fun there, don't get me wrong. But you have to temper your expectations and think about your own future and carefully. You will be so much better off for it. And yes, CJ is correct. The game industry can be cruel. This is another aspect. I was thinking about not mentioning it, but one of the aspects of the game industry is that you have to understand your passion, your drive to be in the game industry and be a game developer. I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, it's the same that happened to me when I was young. Was this deep desire and sort of like, oh, I want to be in the game industry. They're so cool. I get to make games and I get to play games, and it's gonna be a games about all the time. And that's, I mean, to an extent, yeah. But you have to also understand this. A lot of people feel like this. A lot of people. And what's worse is the people who run these game companies. I'm not saying they're evil people, but there are some people involved who are very well aware that you have passion. They know that you want to do these things. They know you have a great desire to come and make games, and you will sacrifice deeply in order to be involved. You are willing to do all kinds of sacrificial things in order to just be part of that process and to be in that sort of thing. And as a result, because of that, again, you probably won't get paid very well. And they will, in some cases, as it were, exploit you to the full extent that they can, to where some people even have mental breakdowns and have to, like, I've known some people who have to basically quit being software developers and stuff like that because they had burnouts. They were mentally damaged because they were pushed to work days and days and weeks on end, weekends too, without sleep, and where they sometimes just slept where they sat. Some fainted and had to go to the hospital, all kinds of stuff. Now, I'm telling you the horrible versions of it. You're not like gonna meet a lot of this, but into that extreme. But just be aware that the game industry has a lot of passionate young people, and the people who run these things, they know so. So, be careful. You have to keep, as they say, your wits about you, and take care of yourself. I'm not saying you can't make sacrifices. Even when you're young, you can, you're much more resilient. You can take a lot more to make your passions happen. I'm not saying not make sacrifices, but the game industry is a harsh mistress. It will drain you if you are not careful. It will suck your energy and passion and joy out of you. I nearly stopped playing games because of it. So, that's sort of the negative side of this. But there are also good aspects to it. So just be aware of that. Be aware that it is an industry that can drain you if you do not watch your step. And also sometimes not even pay you, depending on some will expect you to work without pay, passion project, all that kind of stuff. Watch your step. And take care of yourself. Always think about your own well-being, even if the people around you seem nice. I'm not saying they're not, but You don't want to be the one who goes along and ruins yourself as a result. That said, the sodas and the pizzas and the lots of gaming and stuff like that, those times can be really fun and great. And you can also, you go out to a lot of events, you get to meet a lot of cool people, you get to be part of a cool process in a lot of cases. So there, I mean, there's full of good things, but it is a very exploitative software business. It really is. And I think I've said that enough now. Alright. Making good progress here. Chest heavy stubber barrel. That is a very, very large gun. And also just to encourage you a little bit, I mean, I'm still to this day, like currently I'm trying to work on a little game project myself. I started up using this engine that's called the Corgi engine, and trying to learn a new programming language and whatnot. So I haven't given up on it myself either completely, but it is something you have to think about. You have to think about these things very carefully. There's fun, but there are pitfalls. Quisitor Mom says, I haven't gotta go. Bail. Bye-bye, heretics, and bye, innocent kid of Pablo. You see ya, Mopsus. Have a good one. Thanks for being part of the stream. Enjoyed having your company. Godot engine is also a good one. There's a recent game that's about being a planetary, what's it called? Planetary gun commander. It's actually it looks very stylish. It has this very horrendous German title. Like I can't remember the German title, but it's called like PKVV or something like that. It's a really stylistic game, and it's made in the Godot engine. The Godot engine is a cool thing, and I also agree. Get a small computer like an Arduino, like a Raspberry Pi, and start trying to make small games on those. There's a lot of good fun ways. Like Raspberry Pi has a lot of good stuff in getting started, doing a bit of coding and making small games. Highly recommend those. I use Raspberry Pis myself. In fact, the infrastructure that Canium has with our web server, with our website, and we have our own audio library or audiobook library. We have our own code repository. We have our own food recipe sharing platform and stuff like that. All of that runs on Raspberry Pis that I have running in my home. Very versatile little mini computers. So get you some of those if you can persuade Daddy Pablo to get you some mini computers to experiment on. I hate that I said it like that. Pablo Pablo Senior, whatever. What was it that I had? Didn't I have some stuff? Like a different kind of power washer. I seem to recall there was a different power washer I could choose. Nope, not that one. Oh, I can improve the range and the nozzle, and I could put on some cleaning liquid. That's right. Metal cleaner. Let's try that. Let's see what happens when we do that. Hmm. 19.991% of residual remaining. Very good. The only code my dad knows is MATLAB. Yeah, well, Pablo is a smart cookie. He's just doesn't know the fun code. He only knows business code. MATLAB is a good language to know for a lot of reasons, by the way. Just gonna crawl up here on the scaffolding. See if I can't get a good angle on the top of this thing that we can use this stuff, this cleaning fluid on, so. Can we stand on top of this guy? Okay, this cleaning liquid is not working at all. What on earth? Hold on. Wow. Disappointed. Okay, so we're going back. I'm going to try this thing. Let's try a few things here to see what happens. Ah. Now, well, that's just going to take too long, isn't it? So having a short drink. Fun fact, says Pablo, Roblox was designed for kids over the age of 12, but 9 to 5-year-olds play it. Huh, did not know that. Fun fact brought to you by Pablo. Let's try that long range thing again. Yeah, see, now we're talking. We just stand here and long range clean things. Oh yeah. Maybe the one that's a bit closer. Oh, Pablo, I'm so sorry. Fun fact brought to you by Pablo's son. Oh, Mad Ducks has joined us in chat, ladies and gentlemen. He says he has it streaming on his laptop at the counter at work. I have a list of things I know about Warhammer 40k, and so far it's only 22 things. I mean, I can teach you a few things, so it can be 23. Did you know, for instance, that there are not 18 Space Marine Legions, but 20? You're right. We don't talk about the other two. Tower weaves, you're right. They should not have existed. Some guy named Trayson has stolen more artifact than the British. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Trayson the Infinite. He's a Necron guy whose sole purpose is to go around the 40k universe and steal artifacts and cool things. He just puts in stasis in his own personal museum. So yeah. That is very true. Can I do a bit of more of a spread here while I'm up close? Like this. Ooh. Highlighted message from Pablo. Fun fact brought to you by Pablo's son. This dude is cool and funny. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Mad Dog says there's someone named Slaanesh, and apparently apparently worshiping them has an effect. When it was explained to me, innuendo was heavily hinted at. Oh yeah, no. Worshipping Slaanesh is all about like, yeah, achieving just absurd amounts of desires and stuff like that, and it sort of messes you up. Everything you desire to the most extreme degree. And I do mean everything. Including Titan feet, Pablo. Depravity and debauchery, yes. That is indeed how it works. I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response, CJ. Gork and Mork are the only real gods, says Pablo. I like the orcs. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty cool. They're not like I've never played that faction. Haven't looked much into their lore, but the things I do know about them are cool. Like one of the favorite things that there are about the orcs is that there is this theory that in fact when it comes down to being powerful psychers and being able to wield magic, the orcs are actually the most powerful psychers in the entire 40k universe. It's just they don't know it. They're unaware of it. They're too dumb to understand that they are. Which also incidentally explains how they're able to do some of the things that they're able to do. How some of their big robot machines or their guns or anything else that they do, how they even work. Because when it comes down to it, when people have examined the stuff after a battle has happened, the stuff that they have is completely useless. They don't work. It's just empty shells of banged together sheet metal and other kind of crap. But the reason they work is because they truly believe that it works, and so therefore they do. That's why they're the most powerful. It's like their ability to make things work is entirely dependent on what they believe. So if they believe something can happen, it will happen. That's how they work. That is indeed why when the vehicles they have that are painted red, they believe red will make them go faster, and so it does. They believe that if they paint themselves or their equipment purple, that's a sneaky color, and so they're harder to be spotted, and that they become sneakier, and so they do. This is how this works. They believe that these things work this way, and so therefore it does. So this is a real thing, and I find it hilarious. Like, that is the funniest thing. Blue is the lucky color, that's right. Pablo says he used to play them, and people would get mad because of the rules that are for orcs of like straight up Bugs Bunny shit. Yeah. It really is. Like, that's actually a great analogy. Like, if you ever watch a Looney Tune cartoon with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd and all that stuff, some of the stuff that goes on there that's completely ridiculous and work even when they shouldn't, that's orc logic. That really, like, when you play orcs, it's like as if you introduced Looney Tunes logic into 40K. And it works because, I mean, let's be fair. I've said this many times, and I don't feel bad about saying it. 40K is ridiculous. Like, it really is absurd. I'm a fan of the lore. Huge fan of reading the lore in a serious way. I like going into the melancholy and the darkness and the doom that humanity faces and all the... Like, I like reading the lore in a serious way. But I do so while appreciating that it is absolutely absurd. Like, the whole setting and everything in it is absurd and ridiculous. But so, and that doesn't detract for it. I know that there are 40K fans out there who sort of get all uppity about that. I don't. I'm okay with it being absurd. I like it that way. I like the grim darkness, that how everything is so unbelievably, hilariously and extremely bad. Everything is the worst possible version of it, of how bad things can get. Like, you think about the humanity, you know, they've become a religious cult, but they're the worst possible version of a religious cult. Everything they do is extreme and very, very bad. And to me, that's just enjoyable. It just is. Pablo says ramshackle was a rule for trucks. When they get blown up, you roll a table. You had a 33% chance for it to fall apart, Looney Tunes styles, and the boys be unharmed. Yeah, that's true. Pablo also says some of the grimdark stuff is a little too grimdark, like etchy 13-year-old grimdark. Maybe. I mean, I enjoy it. Like, some of it gets a little over the top, and not all stories in 40K are equal, by the way. There are some stories that aren't told very well, and I put that down to bad storytelling. But you also have to remember this thing that I like to begun to remind people is that most of the lore you read, you have to understand, is propaganda. Like, most people don't really understand what the truth is about a lot of things in 40K. Truth is very, very hard to come by. So everything you see in terms of the glorious paintings, the
almost mythical description of the Primarchs and the Space Marines and the Emperor and all that stuff, that's because it is mythical, glorified, non-truth fictional propaganda storytelling. Like, all the stuff is completely overdone. It's because the reality is either much worse or like there's a simpler truth that's nothing like that. So one of the favorite examples that I like to bring up is that when you hear a description of a space marine, like the loyalist space marines, they're usually sort of like inglorious war paint, and they're come to save humanity, they're the Emperor's angels, and blah 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 blah. And you hear a description of a chaos space marine, they're very evil, mutated, extremely botched, cruel, destructive, blah 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 blah, out to destroy humanity and all things that's worth having, blah blah blah. But my theory is, if you actually put, short of having an actual mutated space marine, if you put a chaos space marine next to an imperial space marine, there is no guarantee you could tell them apart. Because they're not really that different when it comes down to it. They just have different agendas. They're on opposite sides of what is already extremely horrible. So even just visually telling them apart, or how they behave and how they go about things, I'm pretty sure that in a lot of cases you wouldn't be able to tell. Because Space Marines are horrible. They're horrible superhumans. Like, think about the worst roided super soldier you can think of that's just roaring and destroying and murdering super fast all around you. That's a Space Marine. That's what I mean. Pablo just pointed out. I don't know. Plague Marines would be pretty gross. Yes. That's what I mean about unless it's a mutated Space Marine. If there are some things that stick out really, really obviously, that's undeniable. I meant like if you took an Iron Warrior or something like that, like your fairly standard Iron Warrior, and put him next to, I don't know, what would be the worst Imperial, like a Black Templar, an Imperialist Black Templar. If you put them next to each other, or even just an Iron Warrior and a Imperial Fist Space Marine, short of their color, or you can't really tell them apart. They're horrible superhumans that are very murderous. That's the extent of it. And yes, the Imperial Space Marines, they will murder you too. They don't, like, loads of them don't care about you. They if you're in their way, or you just happen to be in their firing line solution when that goes off, they don't care. They'll destroy and murder swathes of Imperial troops if it's in their way. They don't care. Yeah, Pablo's right. When it comes to Imperial Fists and Iron Warriors, the only difference between them is that one is good at sieging and one is good at not being sieged. They have rivalry, the Iron Warriors and the Imperial Fists, by the way. They don't like each other very much. There's a whole thing about them. But very true. Let's see, the exhaust here is clean. Oh, there's some stuff here. That's what I'm missing. This is beginning to really help. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting there. Salamanders are the best. They are definitely some of the most human. They, like, the Salamanders Space Marines, they genuinely go out of their way to try to save humanity and actually have, like, there's a whole thing where Salamanders actually still live amongst humans in villages and with their family and stuff like that in some cases, depending. So they are by far the most human and sort of a hero kind of Space Marines you can think of. To what extent that's actually true, I don't know. But this is what I mean about the difference between the mythological storytelling about Space Marines versus reality. But I'm willing to accept that Salamanders The closest thing you'll probably get to good guy Space Marine. That's true. All right. Oh, what? This thing is dirty. Can I step a little further back without falling down? Come on. Top Carapace, clean, Imperial Aquila. This is the Imperial Aquila, and for those of you who don't know, this seems a bit odd, because this one, normally what you'll have is one of the heads not having its head covered and looking like off in a direction. This one has both heads covered, so this one, I'm not sure what this one symbolizes. Usually it's like this head to the left, symbolizing the past, is covered to sort of to say, we are blind to the past. We were not bothering with the past, what happened there. And then this one is uncovered. You can see that it has an eye normally. And it's like, you know, looking to the future and stuff like. This one has both heads covered. So I'm not sure what this is trying to tell me. And yes, Pablo and CJ points out, the Imperial Guard are cool. They are cool. Is one of the coolest factions in 40k because they're exactly as pointed out. They're just humans trying their best to fight the horrible shit going on. And they have great tanks and artillery and stuff like that. They're a lot of fun. But they, like, if you really want to get a sense of how the average human being fares, look to the Imperial Guard. And I will call them Imperial Guard. You're not going to make me call them Astra Militara. Ugh. Or Militarum, whatever. It's the good old meme image with Clint Eastwood as an Imperial Guard. It's like, Astra Miller, what? You're in the Guard, son. We need a different nozzle for this. I can't really hit that part in there. How do I? Can I get it from underneath? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff down here. Different nozzle again. %, or 90. Sorry, not 79. 97%. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Almost there. Pablo says, I made a looted wagon from an Eldar wave serpent, and some guy refused to let me play it because it wasn't lore accurate. Some people get uppity about that. But that's the great thing about 40k that I think sometimes people miss a trick about some of this stuff. which is like, I'm not gonna get into specifics or sort of make any great commentary on details about some stuff that's gone on in recent times about 40k, because don't care. But that's exactly the point, is that if there is something about the 40k lore, or some new stuff that get introduced for reasons one or another, don't worry about it. It's your models. It's your thing. You bought the books. You bought the models, and you just decide. Like when somebody says, "Oh, well, this is a thing now in 40k," and you just go, "No, no, it isn't." And it's like, "Yo, yes, it is." It's like, "No, it isn't." Well, how are you going to stop it? Easy. It's my models and my books. I decide what's real. I play however I want with these things. Who's going to stop me? And then, well, some people in a place might stop you, but, if they're going to be that way about it, all right, whatever. Find somebody else to play with, I guess. They're your toys. Wow, this thing is hard to get at, this thing here. I have to crawl around here. Woo! That worked. So, yeah, those are the same people who use cheese armies like, the rules allow. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, specifically the rules say I can do this. It's like, all right, like that's like if there's nothing that can drain the fun out of something so much as a rule lawyer, the people who will sit there and go into every detail and sort of say, well, actually it says so you can't do that, but I can do this. It's like, all right, you're just here to win and sort of rule lawyer your way into a victory. You're not here just to have fun and go like, ha ha ha, look at that, he got splattered. Like, okay, that's a difference of mentality. I'm not saying you can't have fun with the rule lawyer. It's just, I have yet to, it's always a strain on my patience every time I get in touch with rule lawyers, because like, just for goodness sake, try to have fun. Try to remember why we play this game to begin with. Like, good grief. It's tournament legal, yeah. There are some fun rule lawyer things that I've heard of, like the guy who, I can't remember how he did it, but so according to some rules, he ended up deploying his army in such a way that his opponent couldn't deploy his army. And it was just the funniest thing. So it's not that there aren't fun rule lawyer examples. It's just, they're rare. Hell yeah. 98%. Almost there. Most problem players I've dealt with main Space Marines, and it's kind of turned me off. I'm okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I love Space Marines, but they are the sort of the poster children for 40k. There's no denying it. I love Space Marines, but I guess mostly for lore reasons. Like, I'm really into the lore stuff. I love the storytelling. I love also some of the so a lot of great voice actors out there nowadays, by the way. If any of you are at all interested in 40k lore, highly recommend people like Vox and the Void. He does a great series about World Eaters and also some Ogrins. Yeah, Vox and the Void. There's a guy who I really love listening to called Oculus Imperia, who is about, he's like playing a character who's a scribe in the Imperium, telling about the various parts of 40k. He's really, really good at it. He plays the character very well. There's Baldermort. He has a great voice, and sort of he tells some really, really passionate stories. There's one in particular that's about a general and a space marine from the Blood Spears chapter that it almost always gets me, especially if like I'm in that mood. It almost always get like, you know, that meme about like, do guys ever cry? And it's like always about a war and, you know, not leaving people behind and losing battle brothers and stuff like that. He tells good stories about that. There's Luton, obviously. He doesn't do voice acting. He just basically approaches that. He's a very, very knowledgeable 40k lore guy, Luton. So I like listening to him too. But I prefer the voice actors. They're really, really good. There's a guy who does... who also does 40k voice acting, who's done some voices in the 40k Rogue Trader game. I always forget his channel name, but it's like, you know, voice acting in real life or something. I can't remember his name. He's a really good guy at this. He does some really great orcs voices too. But that's the part. That's the stuff I enjoy. 99%, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. I mean, this looks like an Imperial Fist thing. I'm guessing it said it was from the Hawk Shroud thingamajiggy, so I don't know what that is. Maybe someone who knows Titans better than I do will know, but I don't. We're just spraying in like between there. It's like a whole bucket of water being filled up in there. All right, let's see. Okay, so it is that stuff up there that we're missing. Let's see if we can't get a longer range. My eyes! Ah! My mechanical eyes! Ah! Like, you'll start up the Titan and there's like a little aquarium because of the sort of bucket nature of the front there. So there's a little aquarium in front of his eyes. There's a fish floating by. It's like, well, you're just going to have to deal with that fish while we go to war. Maybe that's the way that we entertain a Titan while it's not doing anything. Just let him have his own little aquarium in front of his face. Oh, look at the fishy. Imagine being a servitor whose only job is having a power washer attachment. Yeah, I think that's pretty much my job. I'm not a servitor, but I might as well be. Cultist attacks you and you spray them in the face. Yeah. Oh, that'd be just, you see people just being thrown back with the pressure of water. This knight has fought for 40,000 years. You flooded the engine. Look. Yeah. I mean, in that respect, it does feel like I'm power washing an old, like the first Ford car. It just seems sacrilegious somehow. Oh, man. Torso cleaned. Nice. Almost there. I can feel it. The Omnissiah will be pleased. I hope that water was anointed or we're getting in trouble. It's like, what? You didn't use the anointed water supply? No, I just got it from like the regular garden hose. What? Let's get this last percentage done. See if we can find where it's missing from. I gotta move the scaffolding. Here we go. The anointed water tap. Yes. I like the idea that this... This is the most holiest of flower bed of the Omnissiah. Use only the anointed water tap. I am cleaning the pelvis plate. I'm just gonna call it the Elvis plate. No. Uh-huh. At least buy a dinner first. No. I am power washing. That should be sufficient. Wait, why haven't we completely cleaned this blade yet? There we go. Alright. We're still missing something. This is where it gets tricky, because you gotta find all the last small details. Ooh, there's some stuff up there. Reactor housing. Yes, surely. Surely that should be power washed. By the Omnissiah, tell me where the last bit of filth is. I need to go on my oil break. No. Yes, the Omniscient Union mandated oil break. That's a thing. Wait, I think I just spotted some of the stuff that wasn't clean. Chest heavy stupper. Oh, that's part of the... There! Much better. Now what are we also missing? Above the cannon near the shoulder. Oh! There's something under here. Right on. All right. Hmm. Don't see it, CJ. Not yet, anyway. I just went past it. How can you say such a thing? Is it on the gun or is it on the shoulder? Side of the hull. All right. Let us have a look. Battle. It says battle cannon arm cable. Okay. Oh, I think it's this thing. Battle cannon arm plate. Arm cable. Alright. Alright. Let's see if we can't... Let's see if we can't nail this little guy somehow. Ah, we got it. Nice. Okay, cockpit hatch railings. Let's see where that is. I'm guessing that's on top of this guy. Just gonna take the extension barrel off, just so we... I'm guessing it's some of these guys over here. Oh, there it is. Whoa! Ah! I fell down. There we go. And now reactor heat sink pipe. Oh boy, where is that? Let's see. My logic also tells me that this is somewhere in the back. Decoration. Mechanical seal. Heat sink. This is the exhaust. No. Reveal yourself. Wait, what did I just... Whoa. How did I pick that up from all the way over there? Anyway. I require... Now, this is a servitor job. Think about that. This guy here, that's your life now. This is what you are. You are a stool. You are one step upwards for someone to stand on you so that they can have a little bit better reach. Yes. That is your life now. Oh. I just saw heat sink pipe. I'm just gonna try and spray this for a bit to see if I hit anything, because I'm fairly confident that it's this area, kinda, sorta. Oh, we did it! Woo! Omniscience be pleased. Hell yeah, guys. We did it. I was just for the celebratory drink. Cheers, guys. Right. Now to watch the Benny Hill replay of this whole thing. Let's watch it. So, I always love watching that. And we made a total of $250. Wow. For cleaning a Titan. Oh man. That was pretty good. Yeah, that they play in and out. Let's watch that again. Yeah, you see the candles coming and going. Someone comes in and changes them in a while. And we're just so good, we're just floating in space while this happens. Yeah. Is there more? Like, is there... Oh, we have to clean a thunder. We're not doing that today. Because this is going to be the end of the stream. I would like to thank you all for being here with me for a little chill 2 hours as we cleaned a Titan and talked some 40k and some BattleTech and some games and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope you enjoyed yourselves. And as always, I'm going to play you out now with our own Canium band. We have our very own band called the Roaring Buttholes, and they're going to serenade you in a most flatulent way with our theme song, Warriors of the World. See ya, guys.
Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We are warriors, warriors of the world. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We are Canadians, warriors of the world.